Among those piloting face-to-face classes are 20 private schools. Let's find out more from Attorney Joseph Noel Estrada of the Coordinating Council of Private Educational Associations. Attorney, thank you so much for joining us. Have you been informed, or has your association been informed of the names of these 20 private schools by the Department of Education?
Good evening, Rico. We're still waiting for the names of the schools from the Department of Education, including the areas where they have identified these 20 private schools. We're also waiting for the copy of the guidelines.
Why do you think they've only chosen 20 private schools, Attorney, when these private schools will have the best practices, they will have the best people in place to institute the safety protocols?
I'm not really sure how they came up with that number, 20 private schools. We have 14,000 private basic education schools all over the country. And again, we're looking at how much do we benefit from the pilot testing, especially in areas where there is a concentration of schools, like in NCR, in Region 4A. And then we've heard that, again, they will roll out the pilot test in low-risk areas. So, and NCR, Region 4A, and nearby regions are always at the higher quarantine classification.
And you just heard in that report of Tricia Terrada, Secretary Briones mentioned that this pilot program will be from kinder to grade 3. Do you think this is the best age group to have pilot testing when they're not even inoculated or immunized? There's not even a vaccine for this age group.
I think the factor there, Rico, is how do we convince their parents, no? Because these are the younger age groups of students, kinder to grade 3. And so you have to answer many questions, particularly in the private education sector, because they demand higher protection and quality of services and assurance, because they pay for the tuition. Unlike in the public schools, they have no choice generally. But for us, we have to answer questions because they'd rather have their kids at home if they're not really confident with how the schools will roll out the in-person classes.
Attorney, if your group were to recommend which schools and which levels should this pilot face-to-face, which ones would they be?
There were several studies, and also basing from some international examples. The higher, it's always good to start with the higher age groups, no? So senior high school, and then probably junior high school. Then let's see from there. And it also depends on how the local government, for example, and our central government are ready on the services that they will provide for the families outside of the schools, no? Because I think for the schools itself, yung retrofitting the physical facilities, the shifting, kaya na pong i-complement yan. But yung vaccination sa localities, yung the use of public transport, immediate response testing, I think all of those things outside of the control of the schools, and they would need government assurance.
And you mentioned there are 14,000 private institutions, and only 20 are being picked out of those 14,000. Isn't that too small a number?
Yeah, I agree. Napakaliit doon. And again, we'll have to see ano yung mga factors in DepEd deciding only 20. Baka naman different areas also, different quarantine classifications or restrictions, but we really
and of
don't
course,
know
you also mentioned the
time.
best age group to start would be high school, no? That's the age range between 12 to 17, and the FDA has already approved vaccinations for this age group in the country.
That's correct. Kaya maraming parents are also asking kailan ba magkakaroon ng vaccine for their kids. And some are even saying until there's a vaccine for their kids, yung mga higher age levels, saka lang sila magpapayag no, for in-person classes. But then again, we leave it to the experts, yung mga ating health experts on this, no? Because we're just basing it from other countries who did it ahead of us.
Yeah, well, you know what,
it is the
Attorney,
public.
we're just one of 2 countries in the world that has not restarted face-to-face learning. Everyone else around the world, more than 190 countries, have already gotten into face-to-face learning. And it seems like we can get our act together even for pilot face-to-face hybrid learning.
Yeah, that's true. So we're the last ones to open, but we also have the longer preparation. It means we had the longest preparation also.
If there's such a thing as preparation.
How we took advantage of that, or have we taken advantage of that?
Thank you
is
so
also the
much.
question.
Thank you so much. A lot of questions for the Department of Education and for this government. Thank you so much for joining us, Attorney Joseph Noel Estrada of the Coordinating Council of Private Educational Associations.